Let's talk about Google's unfair advantage policy, what it is, and how it has recently changed. So first of all, Google's unfair advantage policy is a policy they have in place to prevent what would often be called double serving. In other words, if you go and search for something on Google, they don't want every single ad slot to be an ad for the same website because it's not a good user experience. It's giving an unfair advantage to one website and not allowing competition. And so that's kind of the thought process behind this unfair advantage policy. This policy has been around for a very long time, but in April of 2025, Google made a fairly significant update to the language of the policy. So let's take a look at what the policy used to say, what Google says they changed, and what actually changed. So first, we're going to use the Wayback Machine to look at what this policy used to say. So this is from late March of 2025. So back then, Google said that the following is not allowed: using the Google network to gain an unfair traffic advantage over other participants in the auction. And this part here, the examples, is the part to really focus on. So the examples they gave at that point were affiliates that advertise on Google Ads against the applicable affiliate program rules, promoting the same or similar content from multiple accounts on the same or similar queries, and trying to show more than one ad at a time for your business, app, or site. So now Google released in April of 2025 a notification, an update saying, hey, we're updating this policy. And here's what Google said. So we're gonna, on April 14th, 2025, they said we're gonna update the policy to clarify that our prohibition on showing more than one ad at a time for your business, app, or site applies only to a single ad location. So that ad location is a concept we'll talk about here in a second. Really, really important. But Google went ahead and updated the policy to this. And so this is the new policy here. Now, interesting to note, Google did tweak this thing they mentioned where they said ad location. They added that to the policy, but they also removed this entire line right here, promoting the same or similar content from multiple accounts in the same or similar queries. That just went away, which is interesting, insightful, something to be aware of that Google decided to remove that as an example. So let's really focus on ad location. What is an ad location? Well, let me give you an example. So there are many different types of ads that can serve on Google. If I do a search here for buy umbrellas, we have shopping ads up here at the top. That's one type of ad, one ad location, and a different auction than what we have down here, which would be search ads. Technically, it could be search, could be from Performance Max, but it's showing up on search, and these are text ads. And this is a different auction than these shopping ads up here. And then additionally, you have an ad like this one here, which this isn't actually an ad itself, but often you will see ads that will show up here in Google Maps or Google Places. And that is, again, a different auction than the shopping ad or the text ad. And then you could have ads in AI overviews, etc. So there's a lot of different places, a lot of different ad locations. Google even makes a distinction between what they call top ads and other ads on the page. So top ads are the top ads, the top search ads that might show up above organic results. And Google has a different auction for those than it does for other placements on the page. And so what Google is saying is basically clarifying / saying that it is okay for you to have multiple ads pointing to your website on the same page, as long as they're not exactly in the same place. So for example, you wouldn't have two different ads, you shouldn't have two different ads pointing to midtownumbrellas.com right here in the search results. That would be a problem because you are, from Google's perspective, getting an unfair advantage in that one location. You're not allowing other search advertisers to show up. But it would not be a problem at all for you to have an ad up here in the shopping results for that domain, as well as have that text ad, as well as have it come up as an ad down here in the Google Maps area. Those are different locations, so you would not be double serving, you would not be violating Google's unfair advantage policy if you had ads showing up in all those locations. Now, I will say, this isn't exactly news because in some locations, like shopping, for example, for a very long time, it's been fine to have multiple ads showing up. You know, you'll look at these shopping results and you might see, Wayfair show up multiple times, or fill in the blank. Even here you see Midtown Umbrellas, which I happened to pick because they came up first in the search. You see there's multiple ads for them in the shopping results. And Google's been fine with that for a while because different products that are showing up. But I guess the nuance to think through there is you couldn't have an ad for the exact same product, the exact same product ID showing up twice in shopping. It would need to be different products. And so that kind of same idea applies to how Google is tweaking this unfair advantage policy. So hope that's helpful. Hope that helps clarify a few things, and also just it gives some interesting insights into how Google is thinking about their policies and tweaking / removing some aspects of their policies.